We're trying to make sure we're finding that sweet spot as where we're paying for growth, making sure infrastructure is taken care of, but also making sure that we remain an affordable place for working families and all of our essential workers to live. I really do feel this is that sweet spot.
Palm Coast Vice Mayor Teresa Pontieri citing the rationale for raising impact fees.
Palm Coast City Council has given the okay to radically increase fire, parks, and transportation impact fees with the aim of moving the burden of development to incoming residents.
There's been some talk about whether or not we're shocking the system. And when we first looked at all of these fees, we thought that maybe with the first kind of iteration of them, with everything on our shopping list that we wanted out of the impact fees, that we could be shocking the system. So we made adjustments, and we took a lot of time to specifically analyze the effects on our building community and on affordable housing.
She gives a further understanding of the importance and sensitivity involved with the council's decision.
We've been very reasonable in our efforts to ensure growth pays for itself, while at the same time not outpricing our essential workforce, young families, and young professionals beginning their careers.
Anna Marie Long, executive officer at Flagler Home Builders Association, gives the organization's reaction to the changing fees for developers being passed on to new residents.
The 2020 park study versus the 2025 park study shows an expected decrease in population. This signals an overcollection, a weakened nexus, and an inconsistency with proportionality requirements. The U.S. construction cost increases did have a stark increase during 2021 and 2022, but the data proves that those costs have stabilized in 2023 and 2024.
The new fees take effect on October 1st. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, June 18th.
Jacksonville, who has fuel farms, have had 15 fires. They've learned you have to be near a big body of water. They had to pump out the St. Johns River for, I think, 115 hours on their last fuel farm fire.
Oh.
It's back to the drawing board for a St. Petersburg startup looking to build a fuel farm in Flagler County.
The topic came up during last week's Friday Free-for-All, and District 4 Commissioner Leanne Pennington shared what she could.
It was, slated to be proposed up in the Palm Coast area. So That's where we originally saw it. That's why I'm under NDA, because the county was involved in that. There was a grant associated with the state of Florida that would give them $10 million.
Department of Commerce?
Economic Opportunity and Commerce,
okay.
Right? Yeah, and so that's why our board was involved, because we would be the approver of the grant coming here.
So that was a $10 million grant.
Yeah.
That was to facilitate Belvedere Terminals to contribute to buy land in Palm Coast so that they could do a fuel terminal.
Yeah, it's a state initiative to bring in fuel by rail.
Pennington says at the moment the project is up in the air.
We had concerns as well. There were some concerns mentioned. I mentioned the concern. Jacksonville, who has fuel farms, have had 15 fires since the inception of fuel farms up there. So we had concerns. Do we have the equipment? Do we have the hazmat training? Because we would be the fire and rescue along with Palm Coast. Do they have it? So I wouldn't say that our board was, we needed to completely address these before we even considered a fuel farm. But it didn't work out for Palm Coast. Our board politely agreed and came to a consensus that we asked the state of Florida to remove Flagler County from consideration for that grant.
The county has also confirmed this week that 1,900 acres of land being rezoned from agricultural to industrial use in Bunnell will not be used for Belvedere Terminal's proposed facility or a landfill. I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Over 265 Flagler County businesses are set to receive life-saving devices from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Rick Staley.
Using money seized from poison peddlers, the Sheriff's Office purchased over 400 LifeVac systems for not only our patrol cars, but also to give every licensed restaurant and bar in Flagler County one of these devices. LifeVac is an invention that helps choking victims. When it's applied, it removes the obstruction. I think this is a great use of drug-seized assets to potentially save a life in Flagler County at no cost to the taxpayer.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.